New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Welcome to Ministers Talking a weekly program where Rev BRZ and Rev Z and their guests chat about current affairs, world events, spiritual principles, and any old they want to talk about. Based on the New Thought philosophy and ancient wisdoms, Ministers Talking shares a visionary perspective of the evolving spiral called spiritual living. Join us each week as we explore the emerging paradigm of life on planet Earth and beyond.
And hello again, dear ones. Reverend Robert with you over here.
Rev Z right here.
And this is not Monday Morning Visioning. This is Ministers Talking Shit. Happens on Friday mornings at the end of the week at 7 a.m. Just trying to confuse you with the wrong banner there, folks. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome aboard. This is Ministers Talking Shit for Friday. It's the end of January, Z. There it went. We're 1/12 down. Let's get into it. So,
yeah, well, it's quite interesting, how time has its own mind, if you will, and it starts rolling, and if you're not paying attention, you'll wake up and it'll be summer, and.
I think a lot of people want to wake up and let it be summer.
Yes. And when summer comes in, with all that's going on, it might feel like winter. With all of the stuff, I guess, we'll wait and see. And, right at the top, I think we definitely want to send prayers, thoughts, upliftment, and positive everything to the families and friends and loved ones of all those who lost their lives in the crash over the Potomac. I think 67 is the official count. 64 plus 3 on the Black Hawk, and tragic accident. And I mean, it puts the new administration on point right off the bat. And what does he do? Or what do they do? Is they criticize Black and brown people because the problem was a DEI problem.
Yeah.
I don't know if they know who the pilots were on any of the other planes. I don't know if they know who the air traffic controller people were. But I mean, that's heartless and thankless.
Yeah. And then to sign a national declaration that revamps, like it's to me, we're 10 days in and it's the same old effing clown show, to be honest. And unfortunately, they haven't fully confirmed, although they have confirmed enough for the people that thought, for the people that said, oh, he has nothing to do with Project 2020 or 2025, whatever the hell the name of that thing was. He's got nothing to do with it. He's disavowed it. Well, he's appointing people not just in major places, but in other places that are authors.
Yes.
That are authors of the damn thing. And they're enacting what they told us they were going to do. So I think there's a lot of people. And I think there's a lot of people.
And, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
No, I was just going to say, in terms of the enactment, here's one that should be getting everyone upset, is the one about Department of Education and schools and that whole thing. I mean, he signed an executive order on school choice and school funding that will allow people to spend federal money to go to private schools. There's several states that have already set it up. He's going to put it in place not going to, he's already signed the thing at the federal level. So now,
except you can't except we're going to not give you that money. He might have said, yeah, you can spend federal dollars on private school, but then he said, yeah, but we're not going to give you any federal dollars to spend. So screw you on that. Now I know he's walked that back, and it's not, again, we're going to say he and Donald and this. It's not him. He's just out there dog and pioneer puppet showing it at this point. He's got too many people with too many agendas pushing and pulling in too many ways. And I think that's actually a good thing in the longer term, because it's going to show the flaws, show the weaknesses, and the system they're trying to build is going to fall apart. What they're trying to do isn't going to work, is my trust and my prayer.
Well, I'm gonna hold judgment until he gets his whole cabinet in. If he gets that cabinet in that he's put in place, it's gonna be tough sledding, because I mean, of the people there, I think the worst are up right now. They already got Pete Hegseth in at the Department of Defense. Now I want to see how he handles the military portion of the Black Hawk, because now that's his responsibility. Ultimately, he's the head of that whole organization. So let's see how he talks that through.
Yeah, that's true. I do want to acknowledge Linda. Good morning, Linda.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Linda, I think in Donald Trump's eyes, women are even one step below a DEI hire. But yeah, I'm with you. It's cool if you're a white guy. It's not cool if you're not.
And you're absolutely right, Lynn. I just want to add in there, when he dismantled the DEIB at the federal level, most of the people that were sacked were white women. So you're absolutely 100,000% correct. And I'm amiss for not saying that. But this guy is he's hell bent. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, we're 10 days in. We're 10 days in. I can't say much more than that. It has been, to me, unfortunately, a continuation, because people forget, right? People forget how he dodged the whole COVID, how he dodged the pandemic, how he tried to deny the pandemic, how he just tried to blow it all away. And you got to stay with me here, because I do have a point. And unfortunately, earlier this week or last week, some information came out and a study came out and a new report came out that COVID-19 was, and I'm not saying I know this to be true, folks. I'm just saying this was what was in this report, but that COVID-19 was a lab leak. It was an experiment in Wuhan, and it was a lab leak. It was not a animal market. It was not a blood market. It was a lab leak. And whether that's true or not, it throws up that piece that says, that conspiracy theory piece that says, see, we knew we were right. Donald told us the truth. It was the Chinese. Donald was right. It was a lab leak. Donald was right. And it gives him this back credibility for something that was very detrimental at the time. And I'm afraid that that's happening again, but now not at the level of president, but at the level of HHS. I watched RFK Jr.'s confirmation. I watched his cousin's accusations of him as a predator. I watched it, but what at the end of the day, what happens is he attacks Bernie Sanders for being in the pocket of the looks like he had a little bit of a something or other that going on there. So let me there he is. Okay, now we're coming back. So so RFK ends up attacking Bernie Sanders as being in the pocket of Big Pharma. And suddenly RFK is a hero because he's actually going to do battle with Big Pharma. And everybody knows Big Pharma is corrupt. Well, no shit. We've done that forever. And he's not going to take on Big Pharma. He's like, I saw something. The way the right is glorifying all of this shit, it is distressing. I'm pissed off, I'm angry, and I want to be mad. I want to be ugly about it. I want to jump on Facebook and tell everybody to go shove it up there, you know what, because you voted for this guy, and now I'm supposed to pretend that it's all well and good, and I've got to be your friend anyway, and I can't let politics ruin our friendship. No. If you voted for Trump, I question how much of a friendship we actually really ever had, to be honest. Let's be straight up.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the scarier part. For 45 hours or whatever it was when he made the declaration that all federal loans and grants and stuff were going to be canceled or halted or whatever the exact wording he used. You put children, elderly, disabled, schools, care, food deliveries. You put a ton of places in jeopardy for, first of all, work that had already been approved, or money that had already been approved for work. Two, some of those people had already been doing the work, and they now need to be paid for the work that has been done. And it across, so for 45 hours or whatever they say it was, there was chaos. Now, that's 10 days. Once he gets in there and is able to, I mean, because he's still reading documents and he's still trying to take a landscape and looking at reports. He's still trying to get his lieutenants and soldiers and sergeants and arms in place. Within 100, let's take a checkpoint within 100 days to see where we are. We're only 10. Wait till we get to 100.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm praying. I'm going to start praying right now, brother. Join me in prayer right now for where we are in 100 days, because that's the thing. It's all, they've got us. The left was already fatigued going into this election, and now for the most part are deflated. Marianne Williamson's doing a good job. I want to keep shouting out Marianne. Marianne's doing a good job running for the DNC. She's running for the leadership of the Democratic National Committee. She is running on a platform that, if we don't need any more proof, I mean, we have all the proof we need that what we've been doing is broken. And she took the platform she ran on as a presidential candidate and is promised and is using some of that and some other things to promise to transform the DNC and create a new Democratic Party. We'll see. There are some good voices. There's a lot of good people that are going to get displaced.
Yep.
And from both sides, I think.
Yep. Yep. And what and here, one of the things I think, I don't care where you're left, uh, right, center, moving away from extreme right, anybody that's not on that mega ticket, they really would benefit if they just took a moment to analyze. I mean, like, the other day he said he's going to take Guantanamo Bay that holds what, 30,000 or some crazy number down there, 30,000, and he's going to use it as a holding for illegal immigrants that he's shipping out, right? So now, not only will he put them in a place that there's very few watchdogs, although he's already started firing the IGs, which are the watchdogs, he'll be
Right.
down in a place where there's a secure military base. Ain't many people going to be able to get on there. And God knows what will be happening, just like when we've had other detainees in that center. And so, we really need to wake up.
They're gonna use Hill Air Force Base here in Colorado as a detainee clearance center. And at a certain point, I think if I follow the lot, what you're this point of it. Now, everybody, you all know how much I love conflict. You all know how much I love avoiding conflict. I avoid conflict so much it gets me in trouble. And but we're going to have to be the watchdogs now.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to have to be the eyes and the ears. And I want to draw in something here that we don't talk about much, but I do really, there's the growing movement of what are known as A1 auditors across the country. And and I think you're going to see a big uprising in citizen journalism. Now, some of them might get messy. And somewhere like Hill or Guantanamo or any other of the major military installations that they are most likely to use to move people. Mm-hmm. And, but you can't move that many people under cover of darkness, under absolute secrecy, under a cloak of invisibility. Mm-hmm. Somebody is going to be able to record it. Somebody's going to see it. Somebody's going to have some evidence of it. This first go around to Colombia, Brazil, Guatemala, this first debacle of trying to get rid of people
at
Colombia. Even that they blew all up. Oh, Colombia! All Colombia said was, "We're not going to take them if they're on military planes. We take people. They took people all the time when we shipped them commercial. Why do we have to ship them on a military plane? Because little man needed to be big." Sorry, I just saw Linda's comment. Yes, Linda, you're correct. I mixed up my past with my current living state. The Air Force Base here in Colorado, whichever one that is. Sorry, I said Hill in Utah. So,
but you think about this though. Think about this. You have, Hexec, who was a mess, got confirmed by 1 point, which the vice president put in. They had the 3 people who were enraged. And you mean to tell me out of all the Republicans in there, only 3 people were enraged about his past behaviors and his qualifications and his allegations of abuse and alcohol problems and everything? Okay, stop. Now we have Tulsi we got Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
We have Kash Patel. And we have Robert Kennedy. The next 3 that were very controversial. Now, if those 4 people get through, or 3 now, because 1 is already in, from what I looked at, the other 8 of them or whatever that makes up that 12 thing, and he's got new positions that he's creating all of the time. So who knows who else is going to be in there? Then the most of these people are going to get in, and then to Black America, here's the thing that's a slap in the face to me, to Black Americans who voted for him. There's one guy who that's Black, who's going to be the HUD guy, who's going to take the place of Dr. Carter from last time, and he worked with him before. All of those guys, the guy, I forget their names now, Donald from Florida and the guy from South Carolina, who were walking around acting like lackeys, they got nothing out of this deal.
Right.
They have, got appointed, the guy from South Carolina got appointed to some Republican convention something. It's so unidentifiable that I can't even remember it. And out of all of that, nothing. I don't get it.
Yeah. Something kind of struck me as you were talking. Pete Hegseth doesn't care that there's video of him getting drunk in a dunk tank, and RFK doesn't care that people talk about his brain worm and that he was addicted to heroin, and Tulsi Gabbard doesn't care what we say about her, and most of these, especially the far right, their dirty laundry is most likely already out there. The old guard, the true conservatives, their dirt is still in Donald Trump's safe, right? Their dirt is still in Donald Trump's safe. And Lindsay and the rest of they don't want their dirt out.
Right.
Mark Rubio don't want those pictures out. There's pictures somewhere of Mark Rubio. Mark Rubio did something somewhere that he wouldn't be proud of. We all do. And no matter how well you, in that world, somebody's got something on most of everybody. And they're going to vote the way they're told to vote, and whip it up, boys, whip it up, whip those votes, right? That's the whole Washington way. And okay, we could go down and bitch about the government full time, but what I also want to talk about is that now more than ever, it's important that we keep our eyes and our hearts open to those around us, and that if something requires us to stand up and call out, and I'm speaking specifically to white people now, if you see something, you got to stand up and say something. Mm-hmm. If you see an ICE raid happening, you got to be willing to be a good witness and to stop and to pull out your phone and to record, because it is your First Amendment right to record the police doing their duties from a safe and distance that is non-invasive and does not get involved with the incident. Right? We've got to be willing, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Sorry, Linda, before I got distracted there, is we've got to be citizen journalists. There got to be people that are going to be ready and willing to take some lumps and go out there and document what's going on, because otherwise the history books are going to be a mismatch of no, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Can't prove it.
I mean, one thing we present on this show is the idea of how do we take these events, allegations, conspiracies, news. I mean, you throw it all in there. How do we take this stuff, sort it out, and come up with spiritual solutions to these problems or to these issues or concerns, wherever they fit on the spectrum. And I would suggest the first and foremost thing we have to do is come together. We have to stop pandering. We have to stop turning a blind eye. All those things that are that. I mean, some of this stuff we're seeing is just obvious and blatant wrong, unhumane, uncitizenlike. I mean, pick a word. It's that's on the positive side. And so we have to begin to come together. And I don't even know how much conversation we need to have about it, to be frank. We need to be aware of where we're going to point our interests. So we do things like that on this show. But we need to have some action plans, because believe me, the right, far right, has an action plan. It's called Project 2025. And right now, it is in full effect. And once he gets all of his chess pieces on the board, you better believe he's going to start moving. Yeah. And if we're not ready, in 4 years, we will not recognize this country. We will not recognize this country.
So it's a battle for the midterms and a battle for the next cycle. And see, and that's where, and to me, that's where, man, I don't want to spend the next, we've been battling and battling and battling for a long time now. And we've got to find a way to make it look to be different than just, right? It can't be the 60s throwing bottles and sticking flowers in gun barrels anymore. Or again, sorry. And no disrespect to the 60s hippies, right? No disrespect to those that stood up and were civilly disobedient at that time frame. And at that time, you could get close enough to stick a flower in a gun barrel. Today, they don't. You don't get that close. They shoot you with rubber shit long before you get there. And I think, and I don't know. I think unfortunately we're gonna end up seeing whether the left has the appetite to really protest or not, and whether there is whether a non-violent protest is truly, can it happen? I find it really, this is interesting. I find it really interesting that there was not a, I don't remember whether it was called the People's March or the Women's March, but the march that happened right after Trump was elected the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It was like the Saturday in every city and everywhere, and everybody went out and marched. And it was a massive FU to Trump in many ways. And that didn't happen this time. There hasn't been, right? Those thank you, Linda, the Women's March. We didn't see that this time around.
Well, I think, to be honest, I think a lot of people are still in shock. And when they are about to come out of the shockness, the current administration does something else to just, it's like somebody had got amnesia and they wake up and they have a moment of, then they just fall back out, and, because the stuff that's going on, I mean, you like this whole thing with the crash. They just found the black box, right? We have video of new angles of the video where you see the two aircraft coming in contact with each other. Now, in terms of movability, that Black Hawk has a lot. I mean, it's designed to move, right? It's an attack helicopter. I mean, who knows at this moment? But we will get more information when we look at the black boxes and all of that. But have some decency, Mr. President, before you start claiming and blaming. And that's going to happen in everywhere. I'm repeating myself because it's so scary.
Yes, it is. I want to say hello to dear friend Alexandra Musser. Rev A, welcome to the team, Rev. Alexandra passed your panels this past week. And yes, sacred activism is an important part of all of this. And we are going to change the storyline, and people are going to need some time to really be with this. As I said earlier in this program, I'm still pissed off. I still want to get angry. I want to rant and rave. 10 days in, and I want to hammer some people on Facebook saying, "See." Unfortunately, they're still in the part of like, "See, we're doing it," and now they're bragging about it. Where before they were denying they were going to do it, and now they're bragging about the fact that it's happening. And yes, by all means, Linda, call your senators and representatives. I have been too. I like to call Senator Bennett's office. Every fourth or fifth inquiry, I get some sort of a response message of some sort saying thank you. So call, let your voice be heard. And I think the most important thing I heard from you today, Z, is let's be prepared. And I have found there is no better way to be prepared than to be in prayer. And to buoy ourselves with a deep recognition. And this isn't just a sitting down to, a gratitude prayer at the end of the day. Not that that isn't important. And, Z, I got something to tell you. You got to remind me after the show. Not that not that any of those aren't important. Now is a time to buoy ourselves in a deep, deep strength, a deep sense of knowing that this is working out, that we are on the transformation team, and the consciousness of humanity is shifting and is being changed. And we are not through the darkest of the night, but the dawn is yet still ahead of us.
This should be every concerned citizen's mantra for the next 4 years. I'd rather be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared.
Yeah.
Because we have to be vigilant here. We don't know. I mean, he wrote a letter, he being the current president, or a statement or whatever he did, asking everybody to fire. Anybody that, to send in your resignation or be fired. Now, what kind of management style is that? That's, those are the toxic management styles of fear and bullying and all of that corporate America has tried to change, which was white, male dominant. They'd come in and bully everybody to get their way, whether it was the right way or not. And he's doing that at the federal government level, the people that run this country, the people that secure our money. I mean, this is a classic case, or shaping up to be a classic case, of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer with the things that he's putting in place in 10 days. He's going to have a battle with the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve chairman said, as he just did, he didn't raise rates. So now we're going to get into we're going to be on a battlefront almost on every turn. So we better be prepared.
We better get prepared. I think I've been saying this for a while now too, and I want to keep saying it. And I think part of that preparation for every one of us is, and I'm going to keep saying it, to strengthen our spiritual community. Whether that's online, whether that's in person, whether that's both. I would love for everyone to have both an in-person and online community that they know they can turn to, that they can rely on, that be there for people, be about people, put people as a value, and we're going to have these conversations and we're going to make these changes at a higher level, but recognize that while I am mad at my people that I know that voted for Trump, while I am mad at them and angry at them and want to go yell at them, I'm not going to tell them, see, I told you so. I'm going to treat them as people first. And I am going to be active if somebody wants to get political. Like you're saying, if somebody wants to get political, I'm going to have an answer for you. But I'm not going to lead with that. I'm going to lead with the fact that people are the value here. And again, a lot of people are going to be displaced. If you've been in the government for a lot of years and that's what you know, and suddenly you're being told, look, severance package and jump with 6 months pay and give yourself 6 months to find a job, or we're going to cut your ass. That's a scary thing. They've never experienced anything like that.
No.
And some are going to say, well, yeah, stay, fight, be a thorn in the side. The first time you're a thorn in that side, you're going to be pulled out and flicked away. So there is no stay and fight in that sort of a situation. There is a stay and bear it until something changes. If you can, right? Stay, keep your head down, be a secret saboteur, be a mole inside the government because you're processing food stamps. Because you work in a department that processes food stamps, you got to keep your head down and be a secret spy in the government.
I keep saying here's the thing, because there's so many things, and then they probably, but we're only talking about the U.S. right now. I'm waiting to see what the foreign community begins to say and how they begin to act to his policies and his book. Now, as you were speaking earlier, Colombia backed down, and they say, "Oh yeah, we'll take him," after he threatened tariffs. So again, here's a bully tactic, as opposed to saying, the diplomatic presidential thing to do with, if you're sending people back, saying, look, call them on a private line. Look, Mr. President, I'm finna send you a bunch of your people back. Here's who's coming. Here's what's going on. If you got any objections, say them now. That may not stop me from sending them, but I'm giving you the courtesy of diplomacy to let you know what's going on. Not what he did. He just sent them and then bullied them. Right now, there's the whole thing with Elon Musk doing the Hitler. German chancellor is speaking, saying that from his perspective, there's a continual righting of a wrong that happened.
And you do know that Elon, from that rally at the inauguration, you do know where Elon went next, don't you?
No.
He did a video speech to a far-right political group in Germany, promoting the same views and saying that the far-right political party in Germany was the way forward for Germany.
Wow.
And he went and speeched for the far right. Like, really? We didn't see that? Now people, and again, all right, we could go down that road. Yeah, I find it interesting as we sit here, and we've been chatting. Our dear friend Michelle Wadley published a Substack this morning, and the title of it is "Breathe." I haven't had a chance to take a look at it and read it. It came through on my feed. It says "Breathe," and I'm like, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah. And I'm waiting, and I'm going to stop the Ukraine war on the first day, right? That was the statement of the current president. Well,
okay.
I know that the Kremlin has put out a response on making a deal in Ukraine. I've seen the headline come across. I haven't followed up, but I know it's day 10 and the war ain't stopped. I do know that. And so, okay, what does that mean? I mean, I don't think you're going to bully Putin, at least not easily.
At least not easily. You're right. Yeah, and I paid $11 for 12.5 eggs yesterday. I know it's this is the absolute most ridiculous measurement I think I have ever experienced in my life. Is we are measuring the prosperity of America based on the price of eggs, which we all know he can't do anything about it. And we knew he couldn't do anything about it when he promised he would do something about it. And that's where we keep believing that he can do something about the things that he can't, even though he promises he can. And until the American public wakes up to the fact that the emperor is wearing no clothes here, folks, we really are literally at a place where we have to wake up. I saw a sweatshirt the other day that said, "Woke. It's not the insult you think it is." Oh, I want one. So, however, folks, well, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just that fact that we've turned a word woke, which normally means a good thing. When you wake up in the morning, you don't start condemning being woke. I guarantee you. And we've taken a word that means really life itself and turned it on its head to be something bad. That should be a sign that we're headed down the wrong path.
And okay. And here's the dirty little secret that I don't think anybody wants to talk about. To the best of my research, understanding, knowledge, and history, the word woke did originate in the African American culture of America. The way the word was being used and is now being vilified. So come on, dude. There's no way the far right could let the black man have something. Like, you guys came up with this idea. It's their absolute job to try to tear it down. It's sometimes like so blatantly obvious that if you are anti-woke, you are racist. Being anti-woke is equating yourself with a racist ideology. And if you can't see that, and we don't want to talk about that, and we all kind of sidestep that, and it's okay to not be woke, because then I don't have to say I'm racist. There, I said the inside parts out. And we've run out of time. So there you go, folks. We're not going to follow that up. We're not going to respond. If I just upset you greatly, feel free. Reach out. I'm available. info@ntmedia.org. Better yet, make a donation. ntmedia.org. Z, it's good to be with you, my brother.
Without a doubt. And let's keep encouraging people to wake up.
Yeah. And I got to believe if you have found your way to this program, you're probably already pretty woke, and that's cool. So now more than ever, don't go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Right now, more than ever, don't let that side pull you. Don't slip down that slippery slope. Don't go back to sleep.
And tell a friend to tell another friend to come on in and join us. Get into the conversation, so we can begin to look at all sides of issues and have some humane, intelligent responses to today's problem.
Let's recreate the you tell two friends and they'll tell two friends. Let's recreate that commercial with woke. I'm woke. You tell two friends. Now we're woke. You tell two friends. Now we're woke.
Yep, that's what we got to do.
All right. Folks, we're out of here for today. Thank you for being with us. Thanks for being a part of what we're doing here on New Thought Media Network. If you like what you see here and like what you hear here, please drop on over to the website ntmedia.org and drop a few bucks in the thank you tank in the donate bucket. We've got a full day of broadcasting here today. Where's my cheat sheet? Do remember, new program today, the High Vibe Hour with Rev Skip Jennings and Reverend Christina BRZ from Las Vegas. Skip from Hollywood. So join us for that. That is at 11 o'clock today. Of course, we got all our normal programming between now and then. 11 o'clock, the High Vibe Hour. 1 o'clock, Just One You, Rev BRZ. We're doing some rebroadcasts as she does a little healing from a little surgery. So prayers up for Barbara Jean, and check out some good reruns of her show. I'll be back with the good news later tonight at 5. Reverend Michael will be here at 6 with the fireside chat. And later tonight, folks, you don't want to miss this, 7:30 Mountain Time on the CSL Boulder Valley channel. Ask me anything. Seriously, ask me anything you want, and I will give you an answer. And so join us for that later tonight as well. Z, good seeing you. Hope you have a great weekend.
Same as you, and let's keep getting it.
Let's keep getting it. Exactly. Keep on keeping on. Don't let them get you down. Love y'all. Till next time. Peace and blessings.
And thanks for listening to this week's episode of Ministers Talking. We'll be back again next week with more commentary on current affairs, world events, and any other our ministers want to talk about. And if you found value here, please share our with your friends. Until next time, peace and blessings.